Welcome to my workshop. Recently I've managed to get a new table saw, the Evolution R255 TBLX, and finally this table saw actually comes in with a standard size miter gauge. Quite an obvious thing, however the last table saw from Evolution, the Rage 5S, did not have that. Now thanks to that I'm actually able to get some third-party accessories for a table saw. For example, in my recent video I was checking out this absolutely fantastic miter gauge from Enjoywood that you can pick up on Banggood, and I have to say the quality and the features it has, it's amazing. Now if you haven't seen that video, and I think it's definitely worth a watch, I'm just going to drop you a link down below in the description of this video, so go ahead, have a look and check it out when you finish with this video. The accessory we're going to be checking out today, again, it's from Enjoywood. You can pick it up on Banggood, and it's a 160mm extended stock guide. Okay, so hopefully this will make cutting a lot safer on your table saw. Let's have a look what we've got in this box. Everything is more or less neatly packaged here, no major issues. That is it. Okay, that's our guide. As you can see, we actually do have some T-nuts that will be holding this whole contraption down. Now in this case, that means you can use it with any machinery or any setup that uses a T-track. Okay, so you can use it on a bandsaw, router table or anything like that. Okay, very handy there. But you also get these aluminium plates, and they will fit in those standard size miter slots on your table saws. And now just to give you an indication of what's the size here. So we've got 23mm there, and we've got 19mm in this section, and the whole depth of this, we've got 7.5mm. And you also do get the threaded rods to put everything together, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to swap everything out, so I'm just going to remove the star knob, and it's super simple to put it together. Drive in that through there. Don't forget about the plastic washer and the star knob. Now let's have a look at a few features over here. As you can see, we do have a scale on the left and right. This is in metric and that's in imperial. To be absolutely honest with you, with all my tools, I would prefer to have just one system, okay? If I order imperial, I want to have imperial on both sides, okay? On the reverse, there's no marks at all. Over here, you've got nice notches on this side, so it's easier to grab a little bit. And there's a really cool feature with those wheels, okay? They actually go spin one way. If you want to go back, well, they're gonna lock that piece and will prevent it from a kickback, for example, on a table saw. You do have some rubber runners over here. That means the grip should be really nice. So both of them will travel only in one direction, and with this design, as I say, they should prevent any potential kickback. However, because of that feature, as it is out of the box, okay, they will spin in this direction. You need to have this on the right hand side, which is not really the most common approach when you use your table saw. Usually you would have that on the left hand side miter slot, okay? So I think that's a bit of an issue, as most of the people, I think, at least that's my assumption, will be using that with a table saw on the left hand side. But there is a way to mend this. However, before I show you what you need to do, let's have a look at another feature this has, okay? As you can see, right in the middle there, you do have a bit of a fine-tune option here. Okay, both of the wheels are not combined together, okay, so they work independently, and you do have micro adjustment on both of them. Okay, obviously as you use it, they need to be at the same distances, and you do have those brass knobs right at the back, and you can adjust it either way. You can extend it a bit more or retract it depending on what is your setup. But remember, you need to have both set up to the same distance. Now that, I think, it's actually a very clever and good feature. Sometimes it's quite difficult to pinpoint the exact location, as sometimes it's actually hard to get these in the perfect position right up to 1mm. So this option, this micro adjustment, will help you with that. Now the unfortunate downside, as I said, of this system where the wheels will spin only one way, which in theory is exactly what you want. So how can you actually mend this so the wheels will spin the right way for us so we can use it on the left hand side? Well, unfortunately, there is a bit of disassembly required. So first of all, we need to take off this plate in the middle. We need to fully undo the brass knobs. Just make sure not to lose those springs that are just there. And now we need to take off those bolts in there. And now finally you can remove this and flip it like so. Fortunately, they thought about this, so you do have a scale on the other side as well. And now we need to put back all the hardware to its place. And you need to do the same with the other wheel. And with both wheels swapped, we can put back the plate now. And now we can use this jig on the left hand side of our table saw, as I think most of people will. As you can see, the method of actually swapping around the wheels themselves is not the most easy to do, and it's definitely not the quickest. So for example, if you want to be running from a table saw then to a bandsaw and back again, and you have just one of them, well, it's not going to be time efficient at all, and I think you're going to be pretty mad with this. However, if you bought this just for your table saw, or maybe you've bought two, one for your table saw, one for the bandsaw, then I think that problem goes away. However, at least you do have the option to use this jig on both sides, okay, of your table saw, or maybe with another tool, and they did give you the ability to shift around the position of those wheels. So it's a good thing that they did that. However, the method of actually swapping it around could be a little bit annoying. But hey, that's enough about theory. Let's have a look how this actually performs and if it's any good, how it's holding the material in place. Alright, so I've got this laminated chipboard I want to cut, and I want to have a piece with 70mm on one side. As I said, these blocks will fit into any standard size miter slot. The position of this, that has to be before the blade, okay? You cannot have this further along, as then it could lead to a kickback, bind of the material between the blade and the fence. So this needs to stay in front of the blade, okay? Never in this position where the wheel is somewhere around the blade, needs to be before the blade. So let's set this up more or less somewhere like here, lock it in place. That has got a slight pressure on it, but let's give it a little bit more. With that sorted, just make sure everything's nice and stable. It's not going to go anywhere. Really nice clamping pressure here. Let's have a look. Yeah, it goes in really nicely. And actually, it's quite difficult to get it back. Okay, and now with everything set up, let's take it for a spin. And as you can see, as to be expected, it works absolutely great, okay? It puts pressure on the piece against the fence, so you've got one free hand. You don't have to put the pressure with your hand on top of it, and you can just focus on moving the material through the blade itself, okay? And it will keep it straight. That's the most important thing. Sometimes if you're pushing it with your hand from the left hand side, trying to push it against the fence, you're not putting equal pressure, and on some occasions that piece could wander on you just a little bit. With a contraptions like this, it will eliminate that issue. Plus, I think it's a great safety feature there. Also, if you want to cut something a little bit narrower, well, again, it does add that safety feature that your fingers are away from everything. Let's say I want to cut 38mm piece out of this. Nothing easier. Slide it over, lock it in place, and let's give it another go with a narrower piece this time. And as you've seen, those wheels were holding the piece in place even when I've actually took my push stick away from the material. The wheels will not allow the material to go backwards, okay? They can only spin towards the blade, and the rubber rings make sure to have a sufficient grip on the material itself. Obviously, I don't recommend just letting go the material as you're making the cut. However, as you can see, it's a great little helper, okay? It does have the capabilities of being used at the left and on the right hand side. The question is, you know, how long those rubber rings will actually hold on this device. Will they get easily damaged? And I'm actually not sure if you can get replacement of those. However, they are looking pretty much standard size, and I'm pretty certain you could probably get them in a local hardware DIY type store. Should be an easy replacement. And the second issue with this, more of a nuisance than an issue, is if you want to use it with a different tool, for example, that you have to swap the sides of these wheels, then yeah, it's going to take you a few minutes to do. It's not the easiest and the quickest thing to do. It does have the option, which is good, but I would like to see something a little bit easier, a little bit quicker to do. Overall, the quality, the build over here, you know, Enjoywood, they're quite known from very good quality, and in this case is exactly that as well. And I think you may find this quite useful on a table saw, bandsaw, or even a router table. If you are interested in this guide, I'm going to drop some links down below in the description of this video. Go have a look, check it out, see how much it is in your country, as there are different prices depending on where you live, basically. But also I do have a DIY version of featherboard. So if you want to see that video, I'm going to link it down below as well. But now I just want to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for the ongoing support. And don't go just yet. I've got a couple of really fantastic playlists over here, plenty of cool videos, so click on those and maybe you'll find your next video to watch. However, for today, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.